Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about the top 10 kitchen tools that you can have in your kitchen to make yourself successful. Every year we make new goals, whether they're resolutions or doctor's orders or just a goal to be healthier as an individual or as a family. Maybe that's eat more vegetables or drink less soda. Maybe that is take our lunch to work with us instead of eating out. Whatever those things are, they all start with our kitchen tools. I know we don't think about that. We think more big picture, what's in my refrigerator? I have to have a lunch to take with me. But if we don't have the right tools for that, there's never going to be a way for us to be successful. So let's show you what I have that I consider to be my top kitchen tools. Okay, so to get started, you can't do much meal prep without a good knife and a good cutting board. Now they don't need to be top of the line anything. This is actually a knife. This is an 8-inch chef's knife that I picked up from the restaurant supply store. I do have a couple of nicer knives. I also have a 16 and a 12-year-old. And when they started cooking in the kitchen, I had a roughly 7 and 11-year-old. They have ruined a couple knives. They don't always get clean. They sometimes get chipped up or mishandled. And I find that when I buy a $20 knife, it's a lot less heartache or a lot less frustration to have to replace that or to worry about the chips or the dullness to it than it is when it's my $120 10-inch chef's knife from Hinkle's. The other thing is going to be just nice, sturdy cutting boards. You don't have to go fancy again. I think this was one of a 3-pack. I don't remember where I got it. I think maybe you can see that there's a little chip out of it, but I do like the ones with the silicone that keep them from sliding very much. If you have a cutting board that you like to use, but it does slip a little bit, you can always just take a paper towel, wet it down and put it under your board between your countertop and your cutting board to keep that from slipping. But if you haven't gotten the right tools to do the job, you are going to find that you're not setting yourself up for success. The third and fourth, you know what they say. We used to be exciting, and now we have favorite spatulas. This is my favorite spatula. I actually stole it from my husband when we got together and moved in. I had never seen one like this before. It doesn't really matter. Whatever the favorite spatula that you have is going to be great for you. I know maybe that sounds silly, but you use it every day, sometimes a couple times a day. So get the one you like. It melted, I think, at one point. I'm not sure when or how or why. And I looked high and low for 2 or 3 years to get that replacement. My husband Mike finally did find it on Amazon. I'll put that link below. Again, it may not be your favorite, but if it's something you think that you might use, I really like how it's sort of offset and short and kind of scrappy instead of being a longer spatula. It's great for a lot of things. I've got a pan here. It's not super pretty on the back. Again, these are restaurant supply pans because we have gone through so many. I used to use only Calphalon. I used to use only Cuisinart, and they've been ruined and ruined and ruined by having kids in the house still. I find that $20 or $30 is a lot easier to replace than a set of $200 or $300 or $400 pots and pans. And so that's going to be there. Something else that really is going to be useful for you is just a pot. You know, you want to find things that are not going to be single use. We can scramble eggs with this. We can saute vegetables in it. Your knife's going to come in handy in a lot of different situations, as is your spatula. Your pot, you can boil your pasta in, you can steam your veggies in, you can use it for all sorts of different things, to make soup in. One thing that I really love is this guy here. And I had never seen these before my son was a baby and I started doing baby food at home. But it's actually just a steamer basket. This one's got silicone feet in case you are using a Teflon or a coated or an anodized pot. I'm so sorry, I had a coughing fit. I am a little bit under the weather today. Anyway, back to your steamer basket. So it's got the feet on it. It's got, and I forgot it, there's a little metal hook that actually pulls this right out of your pot. But what I like as well, let's say that you need a colander. If I had a choice between this or a colander to buy to be multifunction, I would choose this, and this is why. you've got a colander. It's right here. If you needed to strain something, you could easily put this in the sink and strain through on it. It's not gonna flip out. It will hold. They're easy to clean and dishwasher safe. But also, you can put it in here and steam whatever it is that you need to steam. One of my other favorites, and you can tell it's well loved and heavily used, is a half sheet pan. Growing up, I didn't ever see anything this big. We dealt with the ones that were about half this size. Maybe you're a little more used to seeing. I was a chef's apprentice for a while, and we learned to use these bigger trays. The cookie sheet piece, or cookie, I don't know what you would call this. But the rack, the wire rack that goes inside of it, we have used this so many times. Whether, I know you guys have heard me talking about flash freezing in the freezer, foods that you've made early to be able to put in a Ziploc bag. You can use it for that. You can use it to decorate cookies. We do that at Christmas time. You can use it to cook something maybe that needs a bit of a barrier, instead of putting down foil and letting it get stuck to that. Instead, if you wanted to use it this way, you can use the sheet pan on its own. I mean, the possibilities are endless. This isn't just a unitasker. This isn't just, we do one thing with this and then we forget about it the rest of the time. These are basics that we're talking about today. Basics that are gonna help you to be successful. This is one of my other top kitchen tools. I know you're like, Brandy, we're looking at Rubbermaid right now. We're looking at Tupperware. What are we doing? How are you gonna take your lunch to work? How are you going to save meals for later? How are you gonna make yourself successful? You don't need top of the line anything. I would love to have the glass containers with the Tupperware lids or the Rubbermaid. I'm not even sure how they come. What works best is what you have now. These are what I keep. These are actually what I prefer. We take these for work lunches, or if we make breakfast for the week, we put them in here, so that way all you have to do is toss it in the microwave and you're done. You're ready to go. This may be for something a little bit bigger. You've got to make it easy if you want to be successful, and you want to make sure these items have more than one purpose. The last tool I want to talk to you about today are these right here. These are just OXO little containers. They're nothing I thought I would have kept before, but with produce, specifically vegetables, everything does last a lot longer. So this is a newer one I just got. We've been keeping salad in it, but it keeps the moisture off. And I'll show you what I mean by that with the other one that I've actually got broccoli in. So we keep our broccoli in this typically. We do steam in the pot that I showed you with the steamer basket. We then shock that, which I can show you in another video moving forward. Once you shock, so what you're gonna do is actually rinse it in ice cold water and let it sit there so that the food does not continue to steam. You'll notice this is nice and vibrant. There's not any of that dark brown green color to it, because you stop that cooking. So you steam it in hot air, right, with moisture. Once you put it in that ice cold bath, the inside of that vegetable comes down to a cooler temperature to not cook anymore. We then do strain everything, which is what the baskets are for, and we strain that really well, but you'll see that some water did get away from us. And so when it goes into the refrigerator, you've got that water, and I'm gonna strain that here in just a moment. But it stays out of its own liquid. And because it does that, it does stay better for longer with that little bit of an air channel in between. These are my top 10 tools in the kitchen to help myself and my family be successful. Do me a favor. If you have a top kitchen tool that wasn't on my list that helps your everyday to be a little bit easier, leave me a comment down below. And also, if you found this video to be helpful, hit the like button and subscribe and turn on those notifications so you can see when my next video hits. Thanks so much for spending time with me. I hope this helped your everyday to be a bit easier.